Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Silence. Seated. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
At this point, we'll ask for citizens' input on agenda items only. Hearing and seeing none, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on Tuesday, August 13th, 2024.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 16 in the amount of $763,758.34 and payroll number 17 in the amount of $745,435.22.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $6,216,343.01 from August 3rd, 2024 to August 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under announcements, a work session will be held on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room. The next regular public meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, at 1 p.m. in the Public Meeting Room located at the Administration Center, 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. The next Prison Board meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 4th, 2024, at 11 a.m. in the Public Meeting Room at the Administration Center, 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. Public hearing will be held on Tuesday, October 8th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and Wednesday, October 9th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. of the Assessment Appeal hearings in the Commissioners' Public Meeting Room, Northumberland County Administration Building, located at 399 Stadium Drive, Sunbury, PA. The Northumberland County Courthouse, Administration Center, and related county facilities will be closed on Monday, October 14th, 2024, in observation of Columbus Day. A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet list of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as item number 1 through 10.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed for the Commissioners to sign the state tax equalization voucher for transfers of real estate for the month of July 2024 as submitted by the Assessment Office.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the following reports. These include the coal royalty report as submitted by the County Engineer, the Tax Claims Bureau report, and the monthly fiscal status sheet submitted by the Weatherization Department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to ratify the approval of the grant application on behalf of the Board of Elections available through the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development known as the 2024 Election Integrity Grant Program for $290,736.98, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
The question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing permission to advertise the following. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Commissioners of the County of Northumberland, Pennsylvania, the county will hold a meeting on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024 at 1 p.m. or in the alternative on a date not more than 30 days nor less than 3 days from the date of advertisement of this notice for the purpose of consideration of and acting upon an ordinance, the ordinance, a summary of such being as follows.
Okay, wait, are we going to read this whole thing? We have to. Okay, read it.
Incurring non-electoral debt to be evidenced by the county's general obligation note, Series A of 2024, the 2024 A note, in the principal amount of $2,313,000, and federally taxable general obligation note, Series B of 2024, in the principal amount of $307,000, collectively the notes, to fund a project consisting of the countywide reassessment program, accepting purchase proposals for the notes, setting forth the terms, substantial forms, and conditions for issuing the notes, setting forth certain covenants and representations relating to the federal tax-exempt status of the interest to be paid on the 2024 A note, pleading the full faith, credit, and taxing power of this county to secure the notes, appointing a paying agent and sinking fund depository, and authorizing related documents and actions. A copy of the full proposed text of this ordinance described above may be examined or inspected by any citizen at the office of the Chief Clerk at the County Administration Building, 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, on any regular business day between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. The proposed ordinance currently on file may be amended upon final enactment by the Board of Commissioners as I may deem necessary or appropriate. This notice is given in accordance with the requirements of and in compliance with the Local Government Unit Debt Act 53 PACS 9001 and is amended and supplemented, and this is a ratification for this advertisement. And
That will be part of the motion, right?
And please note, change to the agreement for letter B. The assessment appeals hearing will be held Tuesday, October 8th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and Wednesday, October 9th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And this will be in the public meeting room at the Northumberland County Administration Center at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury.
So moved.
Okay, on the question, so we're going to do some explaining here, okay? So this ordinance, if you remember way back when Megan and Joe and myself were reelected in January, we met with the municipalities and we met with the citizens another night, and we talked about reassessment. And one of our goals, and we stated it at that meeting, was that we would look into reassessment if in no way the reassessment cost, which would be the cost of going out and doing the reassessment, would not in any way affect or increase taxes on our citizens in Northumberland County. At that point, we reached out to Darrell and Laura, who are here to speak to us with a firm that went out and helped us look for that and helped us to come up with a way we could do this without any increase. And I have to also give credit, because he says I never do, to Chris Grayson. They have worked diligently over the last 6 months, and they're going to get up and explain a little bit too. But the key here is we said we would not do anything and look into any reassessment unless we could do it without an increase. And thank God for these people who went out and spent months looking and looking, and we think we're at a point that we can approve this today, so that if we do a reassessment, it would be without an increase in the taxes. So, Darrell, are you going to speak, or Laura, or whatever? Okay?
I'll start.
Thank you. Yep.
Good afternoon, members of the board. As the chairman introduced, yes, I'm Darrell Peck with Concord Public Finance, worked with the county for years, and I appreciate the opportunity to continue. So the charge was to go out and obtain financing proposals for the county to provide the necessary funds for the reassessment project should you decide to move forward. With a clear understanding that, we wouldn't come back here with proposals unless we are able to achieve an outcome that, as the chairman stated, would not require an increase in taxes. So our role is not to go out and obtain financing, but I'd like to say obtain favorable financing proposals. So as part of that, we went out to restructure or draft a request for proposal and send out to banks. This doesn't mean you send out a letter that says, hi, I want to borrow money. How do you want to lend it to me? We write terms and conditions in your favor. So we went out to over 30 banks and for proposals for the approximate $2.4 million Series A note, or what was originally that amount, and the Series B note, which is a taxable note of about $300,000. Of those 30 banks we solicited, 12 banks proposed. We got 25 proposals, different proposals for the Series A note, and we got 15 proposals for the Series B note. A lot of proposals. What does that mean? That bodes well for the county. When banks want to lend you money, they're willing to lend you money, meaning, your financial condition is strong, financially, management-wise. So I credit the county for the number of proposals that you received. So the Series A note, which originally was thought to be about $2.4 million, will be repaid over a term of 10 years, which actually is, appropriate and actually required to finance a reassessment project. The summary, everybody has the handout I laid on your desk. You received 13 proposals that were fixed rates for the entire 10 terms. You also received proposals for the Series A note for something like 5 or 7 years. Again, very many proposals. I'm going to highlight what I view as the best proposal from Huntington Public Capital Corporation, a fixed rate of 3.87% fixed for the entire term. The note does require a full advance or a full drawdown at closing. In the first 3.5 years, if you were to prepay it, there is a prepayment penalty of 102%. And after 3.5 years, you can prepay it at any time without any penalty. I can go down the rest of the proposals. The next best rate was 4.2%, and the highest rate we got was 5.75%. So again, kind of why do you go through this process? So you got a very, very favorable proposal for the Series A note. The Series B note has to be taxable for tax reasons that probably Laura can explain better. Let's just say that some of the costs are more of kind of an operating cost, and therefore this portion needs to be done on a taxable basis. The great news is we're going to be able to repay this taxable piece, which has a higher interest rate, in about 2 months. So while there is a slightly higher rate, it's, I'll say, not terribly material. And we certainly want to have the same bank on both loans. So the Huntington Public Capital Corporation rate on the Series B note is 6.3%. I know you're going to look at this and say, well, gee whiz, another bank gave us a lower rate of 5.17%. Because of the 2-month term, the difference in that rate is about $588. It's not cost effective to actually include another bank in this financing. You know, the cost would almost outweigh the interest savings. So suffice it to say, we would recommend moving forward with the 2 Huntington Public Capital Corporation proposals. Any questions on the proposals themselves before we look at the numbers? On page 2 are the sources and uses for the financing. The Series A note, which will be, again, the tax-exempt note with a term of 10 years, will ultimately be in the amount of $2,313,000. You have other funds, remaining funds from prior financings that you can also apply towards the project, a total of about $970,000. So that will be enough money to pay for the project. The Series B note will be $307,000. And again, that's for those $300,000 of the related costs that can't be done on a tax-exempt basis. If you scroll over to the page 3, the final is the repayment schedule over, again, the period of 10 years for the Series A note. For the remainder of 2024, you'll pay about $15,000 of interest only. Thereafter, beginning in 2025 through 2034, you'll pay about $294,000 a year. The Series B note, the $307,000 that I mentioned, you're actually going to pay that off by December 1st. We had to finance the costs, so we did it under the most efficient manner and got it quickly repaid in the current year. There is a summary on the right-hand side of the two combined together. So again, about $300,000 of annual payments. I'll say it again, after completing this financing, your current millage that's currently in place will be sufficient to repay these loans. With that, I'll entertain any more questions, or Laura can certainly.
Are you going to speak too? No, you're okay?
Questions?
Questions? Francis, Larry, anything? And for the interest rate? What did we say it was,
0.87.
And again, I want to emphasize that Darrell said with our current millage right now, and with, Chris, if you'd like to explain with what we, using remaining proceeds from some of them, there will be no increase as far as taxes are concerned. And that was the goal of us way back 6 months ago. And again, I want to thank Darrell, Laura, and Chris for doing all they could to find that for us. Okay? Anybody else? Thank you, Darrell. Thanks,
Thank you.
Laura. So we have a motion, we second it, that was on the question. All in favor state aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint Arthur Snyder to replace the unexpired term on the Airport Authority beginning 8/15/2024 and continuing through 12/31/2027, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the estimate provided by Modern Group of Bristol, PA, to replace the generator's battery located at 2000 Northwest Drive, Cole Township, at an estimated cost of $372.50.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve moving $3,781.68 in FFY 2020 Community Development Block Grant CDBG funding, contract number C0000756787 from Locust Gap Sewer Study and Rehab to HANC, Housing Authority of Northumberland County, elimination of slum blight, Phase 2.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to amend July 2nd, 2024 revision from $74,158.95 in FFY 2021 Community Development Block Grant CDBG funding from RAB Township Gym Phase 1 into RAB Township Gym Phase 2 in the amount of $69,897.99.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve Northumberland County's local match to the Susquehanna Regional Transportation Authority, SRTA, doing business as Rabbit Transit for the calendar year of 2025 in the amount of $9,347.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, Megan.
Yes, I just want to make a couple of comments in regard to this. Seems, one motion out of many motions, but it's really a key program. There is over $100,000. These funds will leverage over $100,000 going towards subsidized transportation within Northumberland County. It paired with LATS, our entire county will be covered by this subsidized transit that's non-medical transit. So for instance, this program, which grew by 300% since during its pilot test phase, has been servicing 35% of people who are actually going to work. So it's a really great program to empower people within the county. So I just wanted to say those few words. So thank you to the commissioners for helping to support this.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to authorize the Northumberland County Commissioners to execute the 2025 RASA grant on behalf of the District Attorney's Office, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the Northumberland County Commissioners to execute the union agreement. To execute the union agreement with National Correctional Employees Union Local 133 Northumberland County Correctionals Unit for the period January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2026, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I want to thank also, when we get to that, Jennifer, our HR person, and Ben, our attorney who dealt the negotiations. It was very difficult dealing with that union, and it took a long time, but finally we got it approved, and now we're officially signing it, and hopefully it satisfies what they need. All right, thanks, Jen.
Motion-
Go ahead.
A motion is needed to adopt the following budget amendments as listed in the public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing or acknowledging travel requests and attendance at the following workshop seminars as in accordance with the county's personnel manual travel reimbursement policy as listed in the public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to award the FY 2024 to 2025 home HVAC system repair and replacement contract to the lowest qualifying bidder, LTS Plumbing and Heating, Inc., Paxinus, on behalf of the Weatherization Department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to have the chairperson authorize the assignment of an interest of real property pertaining to Northumberland County Tax Parcel 013-02-005-275, 012-01-004-285, and 00A-07-068-144, purchased at the June 21st, 2024 judicial sale by Alicia Ann Yegley to Anofer Santiago Gordillo.
So moved.
Seconded?
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, this is me. Okay, this motion number 24, there's a correction in this before Nathan reads it. It should read the motion to authorize, it's not a 6-month sale, it would be a, through December,
31st, 2024.
right, till December 31st. Got
So-
that?
So we'll make a note of the correction, and it will now read a motion to authorize a correction to the agenda and amend the length of the option fee until December 31st, 2024 for the option agreement between the County of Northumberland and Citus Celotex LLC for the purchase of certain real property known as Northumberland County Tax Parcels 050-04-005-061, 050-04-005-004-B, and 050-04-005-004-C, consisting of approximately 9.86 acres, 9.33 acres, and 1.85 acres of respectively, as is more fully described at the Northumberland County Record Book 2631 at page 71 for $2,000 in exchange for the...
$2 million.
Oh, I'm sorry, $2 million, thank you, in exchange for the non-refundable option payment of $10,000 with extension clauses.
So moved.
Seconded?
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Solicitor report, Mr. Garrigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to enact ordinance O-02-24, ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Northumberland authorizing and directing issuance of a general obligation debt in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2,620,000 for the purpose of providing funds to be applied for and toward countywide reassessment program. The intent to enact this ordinance was properly advertised according to law.
So moved.
Seconded?
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R21-24, Northumberland County Commissioners authorizing the use of Pennsylvania Redevelopment Assistant Capital Program, PA, RACP, funds for costs related to the Northumberland County Courthouse Restoration Project. This is a ratification.
So moved.
The question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Just a second. Motion to adopt Resolution R22-24, agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 23. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors, with the exception of contracts with CSO, as Controller Grayson is a member of the CSO board.
So moved.
Question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
At this time, we'll entertain any old business. Hearing none, we will entertain new business. And a last opportunity for public input. Okay.
Okay, thank you for coming. Meeting adjourned.